is Marcia, and for October I chose the artist Edvard Munch. When you look at his name, the way it's spelled out, it looks like he should be Edvard Munch, but he's a Norwegian artist and it's pronounced Edvard Munch. He was a Norwegian painter who painted in the expressionist style of painting. And what that means is that he painted how he felt. Painters around his time painted very realistically, so it looked like their paintings could have been taken by a camera. But he was a little different. He was a sadder man. He had a lot of family tragedy, and he painted more mournful, sad paintings. The painting we're going to talk about today is called The Scream. I have the Scream right over here, and it's his most famous painting. Now, The Scream was called many different things. It was called Despair and The Cry, and it was from a series of friezes that showed all different things happening in his life. But again, The Scream became the most popular, and it also, ironically, was stolen, recovered, and then years later sold for over $119 million at an auction. So The Scream has had a very interesting history. We're going to do The Scream, and we're going to incorporate it into another style, not just using a flat painting. We're going to make it into a pop-up painting. Okay, and this is what I mean by a pop-up painting. Closed, it just looks like a card. When you open it up, you can see the Scream background, and you can see the person walking on the bridge. So let me show you how we do the pop-up card, and then I'll tell you a little bit more of The Scream. What you're going to need are 2 pieces of paper, same size construction paper. And to make a pop-up card, you cut 2 slits in the paper. Then, after you cut the slits, you reverse fold the paper. That means you kind of fold it inside out. And after you fold it inside out and open it again, you get your little pop out. You have to work on this a little bit, a few little folds here and there. You can ask an adult to help you. So what you end up with is, it's almost like a little chair or a little table. Now if you look at the back of this, you can see the hole where the pop out was. So because you don't want to see that, you glue it onto another piece of paper, and that way we have the pop-up in the front and the back is nice and clean. So now we'll talk about The Scream a little more, because that's what we'll make into our pop-up card. Now The Scream depicted somebody walking along a bridge, and they have their hands up to their head, and it looks like they're ready to scream. Some people say it just looked like he was feeling anxiety or fear, but really The Scream has been the most popular myth about the painting. And Munch painted this because he said he was walking along with 2 friends. He walked across a bridge and the sun was setting, and it was setting with such brilliant reds and yellows that he just felt overwhelmed with emotion, and he felt like the whole sunset was screaming to him. He was looking down into a very dark body of water, so there was a big contrast between the sun and the body of water. Another thing that you'll notice about The Scream is it's almost a series of triangles. The water is a triangle, the bridge is a triangle, the sky above is just sort of a straight band. But to make The Scream, what I did was I used crayon, and actually Munch also did a picture in crayon. He did crayon, he did pastels, he did paint. But you can use either crayon or markers or paint, whatever you're comfortable using. And the first thing I did was I made the sky with all kinds of brilliant reds and yellows and oranges. Then I made the bridge. I made the slats of the bridge, and I made the water that he was looking down on very blue. Now to make the man actually on the bridge, he's just sort of a 3-inch any shape. This is sort of like even a little pickle shape. and his head kind of looks like a light bulb. The most important thing when you're making the man in the Scream is to have his mouth open as if he's screaming. So I did that, I outlined it in black, and that way it really stood out. After I made the man screaming, I could put him right onto my pop-up picture. So what I did first, to recap all the steps, I cut the paper, made the pop-up, I decorated it to look like the Scream, and then I made the man in the picture of the Scream. And that way, we got a Scream, and the background similar to Munch's picture. Another thing you can do with pop-up, and this is just because it's October and Halloween is coming up, once you master the pop-up technique, you can go beyond Munch, you can be your own artist, and you can almost make a Halloween pop-up. So that's just something completely different. So that's just using the pop-up technique. You know, it has nothing really to do with Munch, but it's just once you learn how to do it, it's kind of fun to make all these things. Anyhow, so that's Edvard Munch, the Norwegian artist, famous for the Scream. And I hope that you've seen this in the past. If you haven't, maybe somebody can help you go online and kind of look it up and see some of the other things he's done. And I hope you'll enjoy making the Scream. Okay, take care, stay well, see you next month.